Welcome to the Back Bridge 1 video. In this video, I'm going to teach you everything that you need in order to be able to do this workout. Now, please do not skip through any of this. This is a very, very important one to understand the techniques of. And what you're going to notice is that in this workout, we don't actually go into a full back bridge at all. And the reason why that is because what we need to develop first is good thoracic mobility and good shoulder flexion. This movement has a great risk of injury if you don't have the required mobility for it. And at Unity Gym, what we see, there's a couple of areas that we see people across the board have really poor mobility on, and one of them is the shoulders. It's because of the amount of work that we all do at the computer these days and at the desk. Our shoulders become forward rounded and they lose a lot of their mobility, and also our thoracic spine becomes really locked up, or our spine in general becomes locked up, and those are all areas that we need mobility and flexibility in order to do the back bridge.
A gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.
Action.
So we're going to need a little bit of equipment for this workout, and so we've got a foam roller here, a physio ball, and also some back balls, and I'm also going to be using the gymnastics rings in this workout. So you've got the links in the email that tell you, that send you to Amazon where you can get all this equipment, and yeah, this stuff is going to be gold for you, where we really need this to be able to do this workout. So the first one that we're going to do for this workout is the thoracic extension on the foam roller. So what we're doing here is we're trying to create mobility in the 12 vertebrae of the thoracic spine, which are the vertebrae that connect to your ribs. So it's really from the bottom of the rib cage here, right up to the start of your neck, okay? So there's 12 vertebrae in that spot, and we want to think about hitting all 12 positions. So I'm going to start right down at the bottom of my rib cage, and I'm going to put my hands just next to my ears, and I'm going to just stretch out over the foam roller and then come back up using my abs to do an ab crunch, stretch out again, and I can do that 3 times, 2 or 3 times. Then I'm going to move up about 1 inch, and then I'm going to go again, down and back up, and we're basically just going to do that motion right through the whole thoracic vertebra, the thoracic spine. Okay, so I'm going to work all the way up until I'm just before the base of my neck. I'm not going to do this on my neck, okay, like that. And that is the thoracic extension on the foam roller. The next thing we're going to do is a passive hang for 1 minute. Next thing that we're going to do is these back balls, and we're going to use these for quite a bit of time here. What I'm about to explain to you now takes a little bit of time, so don't rush this. The same principle as what we did with the thoracic extension on the foam roller. We want to think of hitting all 12 of the thoracic vertebrae. So I'm going to put, basically my spine is going to run up and down here, and those balls are going to be on either side of my spine. So I'm going to place it like that on my back, and I'm going to lay down from here, get it positioned nicely at the base of my thoracic spine, and then I'm going to lay down here and take a very deep breath, nice and relaxed. Breathe in, breathe out, relax. Then I'm going to then I'm going to bring my arms up, take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then I'm going to give myself a really big hug. Deep breath in, this one's the most intense. Breathe out and relax into it. And then I'm going to move my body a very small amount, only about 1 inch. If you've ever been to the chiropractor or the doctor and you see the model of the skeleton, you know these vertebrae are very, very small, and we're trying to visualize that we just want to move those back balls from one vertebra to the next one, and then we're going to do the same process again. And what that's doing, if this is how your spine stacks on top of each other, so this is one vertebra, this is the next one, this is the next one, and they all move a tiny little bit themselves, and all of that together, when they all move together, creates the movement that we have in our spine. Now for most people this is really, really poor, and so what these back balls are doing is just trying to create a tiny bit of movement in each vertebra of the thoracic spine. This is very, very important. If you skip over this, for most people, this is really you're really going to mess yourself up when you try to attempt how to do the back bridge. So the next one that we're going to do is a long lay on the foam roller, and this one we're starting to get into the pecs. We're getting into the pec major. So what I'm going to do is lay down on my foam roller. So I've got my tailbone is down one end and my head is on the other end. foam rollers going straight down the middle of my spine, and I've got these 1 kilo weights here. You can use anything from sort of 1 to 2 kilos is good, and I'm very flexible, so when I do this it's a lot better than what most people get, but so my arms just naturally drop to the ground. A lot of you, when you do this, your arms are only going to get to here, and that's what we're trying to work on. So we're going to try and keep the scapula depressed, so we're going to pull the shoulders down, and we're going to start from the bottom here and go all the way up nice and slow, and then all the way back down. And what we're looking for is that you can actually do that like I'm doing it here with your arms flat on the ground. Now if you can do that, kudos to you, well done. That means that you've got decent shoulder mobility, okay? And this movement is going to be a lot easier for you. For a lot of you, you won't be able to do that. Your arms are going to be just here, you're just going to let them completely relax, and we're going to do 10 repetitions like that. And we want to do 3 sets of 10 repetitions of that long lay on the foam roller before we move on to the next exercise. So for this next exercise, you'll need some gymnastics rings. We've given you a link for where to get them on Amazon, and those are the rings that we use here. They're really good quality, delivered really, really quickly, and at a great price. So what you're going to do, you want to set them up at roughly sort of where your collarbones are. When I talk about the height that you set them up at, I'm talking about where the bottom of the handle is. So for me, you can see they're just a little bit below my collarbones, but you can go anywhere from there up to sort of your eyes. And from here, I'm just going to come down onto my feet and lean forward into this. So this is just stretching out my entire anterior chain. And then from here, I'm just going to hold this, and what I can do now is I can go from one side over to the other, and I can really get that stretch just opening right up down the side of my body, down the front of my body like this. And that's an awesome stretch there. Now, if you don't have the gymnastics rings, which honestly I highly recommend that you get these, then you can use a wall. So I'll just come over here. What you can do, you can lean on the wall like this. Just get in position, and then you can sort of go from side to side like that. But it's not nearly as effective as the gymnastics rings. The gymnastics rings are way better. So I recommend you get those, but if you can't, just use the wall. The next thing that we're going to do here is the physio ball with the pec minor. So what we're going to do, again, these physio balls are worth their weight in gold, so I'll give you a link where you can get them. And the pec minor, the origin is on the coracoid process, and the insertion is on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rib. And you can see here, it's a really small muscle, and we're giving you this picture so that you can visualize what you're going to be doing here. And we're going to be rolling on this with the physio ball, because the pec minor plays a major part in protraction of the shoulders. So it's going to, when you've got a tight pec minor, it's going to be very, very hard for you to open up your shoulders. So what we're going to do is grab this physio ball, and I'm going to lay down and put it in at the top of that 3rd rib there, and right on the edge of my body. And we're going to basically just put my weight on it and just move up and down like this, okay? There's not much point in me really doing that for a while because you can't really see. What I want you to think of though is, look at that picture again and really get a visualization of what the pec minor looks like. And then what you can do is, if you just follow your finger along your collarbone until you get to this little bony part at the end, and then go down just a couple of inches, and that's where your pec minor starts, and it just goes down from there, okay? So we're going to do that just for a few minutes on each side to really release the pec minor. And now we're going to do rotations into low bridge. And for the rotations into low bridge, you just need a wall. You're going to start facing away from the wall at a distance where if you reach back, your hand will just be on the wall like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to face away from the wall. I'm going to reach my hand back at shoulder height, and then I'm going to get this idea of rotating on the heel of my palm, bending my elbow, and I'm going to bring this arm around, rotate all the way around until my fingers are pointing down. Put that hand on the wall, rotate off, and then come there. That's 1 rep. So then I put my other hand on the wall. I'm going to bend the elbow, rotate around until my hand's pointing down. Put that hand there, change weight on the heel of the palm, rotate off, and then come back to here. So when I do this, I really want to try and open up my upper back. Just like that. And we're gonna do 7 reps on each side for 3 sets. And the last one for the back bridge 1 is we're going to actually do the low bridge. So the back bridge is also referred to as the high bridge, and this is a low bridge. This is much, much easier on your shoulders. It requires far less flexibility, but it still gets you ready for the back bridge or the high bridge. So what I'm gonna do is lay down on my back. I'm gonna bring my feet right into my bum. There's a couple of stages to this one, and what we're gonna do, the first thing I wanna point out is that my knees go forward, they don't go out. I'm gonna put my hands behind me here, and I'm gonna push forward to go up on my toes, and now my head's on the ground, you can see my hands are off the ground. Then I bring my hands in right next to my head, and then I'm gonna push up, drive through the balls of my feet, so I'm pushing my hips up towards the roof, and I'm holding like this. Okay, we're gonna hold this position, so pushing my hips up like that as high as I can get them, and then back down and relax. So there's a few things to take note of here. The first thing is that you want your hips pushing up as high as you can. You want your knees going forward away from you towards the direction that your body's facing, and you have the majority of your weight in your legs by a long shot. This shouldn't feel too hard in your hands.